We are live. What's up, tribe? I'll let y'all jump on here. What's up, everybody? New week, new goals. Let's own it. Coming to you live from Sedona. Today, I don't have a guest. We're going to have some powerful guests this week, but I wanted to just take some time to connect with all of you. Just really connect with everything that's on my heart and hear from all of you and create some space for anyone who needs it that wants to come on here and share. Specifically, if you're from the Black community, I want to give you some space and hold a container for you. I want to kind of just start off today really quickly. If you guys are down, drop a prayer emoji. I want to say a quick prayer for our Black community, brown community, for humanity as a whole, for everything that's going on in the world. Whew, this was a heavy, it's just been heavy, you know, this weekend, but it's been going on for just so long. And I love you guys. I appreciate you chiming in. Do me a favor and take a minute with me to say a prayer, and then we'll kind of just chop it up and talk. So I'll let you guys know what's on my mind. So for a second here, I'm just going to bow my head. Take a deep breath. Let's ground ourselves. I just want to say, God, we ask you to, through this darkness, to allow light to be born. We ask you to uplift and to share your light and your love with our Black community. I know that you have chosen them powerfully to be a catalyst to create a new world of unity and love and peace. And the suffering has gone on for so long, God. The pain is so deep. I know it runs for lineages and lineages. And I ask you to give us the strength and the courage and the discipline to know that hate cannot conquer hate. Only love can do that, as MLK has said. And God, we trust you. We know that you have a divine plan. We are honored to be alive today, blessed today, to be able to have our voices be heard, our actions be felt. And we ask you to continue to just hear us, God, and listen to us. We are ready. We are ready for a new world. We are ready for a world where we do not judge each other based on the color of our skin, based on anything externally, but by our character. We are ready to truly see each other through the lens of love, through your love, God. This generation is ready to be that catalyst for future generations, for our kids' to be raised in a world where they no longer have to fear their lives based on the color of their skin. We ask you to allow this destruction, this revolt, this rebellion to be a true catalyst for change, God. Let this be a purging where we can all heal together. Let the healing really just root up and allow your divine light in. We ask you, God, to continue to guide us as leaders. The world needs leaders right now, God, and we are ready to lead as the example in your love. God, I thank you so much for giving us the ability to connect with so many beautiful lives that are on here right now. And I ask you to bless every soul that is listening to this right now, God. Bless them, uplift them, empower them. Let them know that they are not alone. Let them know that their voice is powerful, that their story is powerful, that they all have a role in this movement to end racism and to bring more unity, love, and peace in our world. Continue to power them, God. Continue to give them that courage. Give them that determination, that resilience. We ask you also to bless the families that have suffered, God, from the brutality and the judgment and the pain and the suffering and the murdering. I ask you to bless the angels of George Floyd and Ahmaud and Trayvon and all those that have lost their lives for no other reason but because of the color of their skin. And let them know that their presence is still felt and that we honor them and that we will not stop at this war against racism until there is change, until we end the racism and the hate and the evil and the prejudice. And God, we ask you to continue to give us that love and that light, and for it to be birthed in this new way of acceptance. Thank you, God. God bless us all. Amen. Whew. All right, everybody. Well, thank you for giving me the opportunity and the space to say that prayer. I think it's really important that we all pray right now. I will say before I bring anybody on here that you were born a leader. You know, every single one of us has the ability to lead right now through compassion, through love. And the one thing that I would tell you is to listen, to truly listen. Listen to understand, you know, and to let go of judgment. Don't judge what is happening. Don't judge what is happening. Allow it to happen. It needs to happen. Our Black community's voice, their pain needs to be felt right now, and we need to stand with them. And I know a lot of you are feeling like, you know, all lives matter and we're all thinking about the big picture with humanity. But right now, it's a time to stand with our Black community and our brown community. It's a time to truly, truly stand with them, to hear them, to listen to them, to stand with them. So observe, listen without judgment. And if you have a calling to use your voice and to share, now is the time. Now is the time to use your voice. Now is the time to make a stand for what you believe in. That's what leaders do. And I will tell you that you will be judged. Mother Teresa was judged. Martin Luther King was judged. Malcolm X was judged. This has gone on for a very, very long time. You will be judged. But you push back on that with love. And know that that's going to happen. But it starts with you letting go of the judgment. It starts with you standing for what you believe in. And that may be, it doesn't necessarily mean that you need to do a live stream like me or to make an IGTV post or do an Insta story or to, you know, even post on social media. I would tell you, reach out to your Black friends. I'm texting my Black friends right now. You know, I just texted my friend Preston Smiles. I just texted Elijah, who is a coach in Leaders Create Leaders. I just texted my boy Trent Shelton. I just texted one of my the mentees that I've invested in, Davidson Ferrer. I'm texting my friends that I grew up with. Text them, reach out to them. Just let them know that you're there, that you stand with them, and that their voice is being heard, and that enough is enough, and that we're with them. Stand with them. And more than anything, more than ever before, guys, do your research. Take the time to understand your history, understand their pain, understand what's, you know, do your due diligence before you just listen to the manipulation of the media and the news and even social media. Be poised right now. Make your own, you know, assessment based on your research, based on real history. This is real deep pain and suffering. This is our reality, that our generation is still facing this racism. And until we end it as a collective and come together as a collective for our Black community, we will not have a world with the unity and the love that God has given to us. It starts with them. I have so much honor and respect, reverence for my Black friends and my Black community, our brown community, because, when I went to Israel 2 years ago on my spiritual journey, I got to go and meet a Holocaust survivor. I got to go into the Museum of the Holocaust. I got to feel the history of the pain and the suffering of what happened during the Holocaust. And that happened in 1 year. But I got to understand. And I got to sit with that compassion and love for them. There hasn't been anything that evil other than what has happened to our Black community for centuries, not 1 year. Not to compare, I'm not comparing. Neither is worse or anything. It's just that acknowledging what has gone on is extremely important right now. It's just really, really important. We will. I just want you to know, we will rise. We will rise from this. We will. I believe, we will see the change. We will. That's why we have to allow what is happening to happen. So thank you guys for giving me opportunity to share what's on my heart. Because I've had all types of emotions. If you haven't read my article, I posted an article on Medium. I'm angry. I'm frustrated. I'm feeling it, and I'm not. I'm nowhere near can understand the racism of having a Black child and raising a child and knowing what that was being like growing up. I saw racism growing up. I could be honest and see, I saw it with my own eyes. There's been times I didn't even say something when I was a kid. And then there was also times where I remember dating a girlfriend once and the parents wouldn't even let me in their house. They thought I was Black. And I remember what that felt like. I think we all self-reflect and look at ourselves in the mirror and really sit with ourselves and really think about what that would feel like, or think about a moment in your life where that's happened to you, or that's happened to, a friend of yours, or maybe you've seen it with a stranger, but truly acknowledging that it's really been existing for so long, and that it's time that we end it. And it starts with you. So I appreciate you guys. Everyone has their own opinion. This is what I believe. I also believe that this is divinely planned, God's plan to make the world a better place. And, I really believe that this is some deep healing. And I would say to you, if you haven't done the inner work yourself before judging or anything else, it's time you start doing the inner work. Like I have. Do the spiritual inner work. And figure out what works for you. Whether that's getting a coach, whether that's going and learning about ayahuasca, the power of plant medicine, whether that's, getting more involved in your church or in your community, or just asking for help, even if it's reading, just start taking the steps to understand what your beliefs are, where your behaviors came from your childhood, from your parents. Sometimes it's from past lives and ancestry that you've taken on. We don't even realize that that's been happening for so long with all of us. We take on trauma from our ancestors. We don't even know where we get it from. All of us have work to do. All of us. I don't care who you are. And if you think you don't, that's just ego. That just goes to show that you haven't done the work. Because even after all the work I've done, I still have so much more inner work to do, to shed and to let go, and to accept who I am in the world and what I believe, and have the courage to stand for what I believe in, and the courage to use my voice, and the courage to do this live and speak from the heart. So I encourage you guys, right now more than ever before, sit with yourself in stillness, reflect. How can you show up in the world as more of a leader? Not just for the Black community, not just for humanity, but for yourself. For yourself. You deserve that. It's time that you start investing in you. And that means you got to start cutting out all the noise, cutting out all the propaganda. Stop paying attention to these, these systems that are out there that have been manipulating us for centuries, so that you can start making really having the conscious intelligence to understand history, to understand, all of our ethnicities and races in our country, to understand your history and where what your beliefs and where they came from and your patterns. So I appreciate you guys again for giving me this opportunity to share what's on my heart today. This week is a powerful week. You're going to see who are the real leaders that are showing up. Tomorrow I have a really powerful live. I want you to be prepared for it. I got my man Trent Shelton, an absolute, one of the greatest leaders of our time. In the Black community, this guy is a legend. Trent Shelton was on my Leaders Create Leaders YouTube show, season 5. I highly recommend you watch it to just to learn a little bit about Trent's story and see how much he's been serving and showing up. Tomorrow we're going to really listen to him. So come prepared, come with some questions, come with just an open heart and open mind to listen and to learn from Trent. I also have a live stream that's coming up with Preston Smiles, one of the greatest leaders of our generation. One of the greatest Black leaders in history of our generation, of the millennial generation, showing up powerfully. Raising children right now, biracial. Having to understand how to talk to his kids, raise his kids. Trent the same way. And show up and be a leader to the world. And continue to have to do his own work. So we'll have Preston on here. We'll have Trent on here. If you guys want me to bring on someone, comment their name so I can reach out to them and invite them onto the live stream and onto the podcast. I appreciate you guys. I have a video dropping most likely later today. You guys know I've been doing the weekly G vlog. I had to add some edits because I had some stuff on my heart that I needed to share while I was on my hike on Saturday. So I added it to the vlog. I'll be posting it later on. And I guess I'll open it up a little bit for some questions, or if you want to jump on here. Let's see. How are you guys? I'm really curious, how are you guys feeling? Drop one word. How are you feeling? What's going on? How has this impacted you? How do we connect with me on a personal level? I would say email, taking the time not to just send me some quick DM, but really email me. You can email me VIP at leaderscreateleaders.com. Email me. My email, you can click the email tab in my profile here on Instagram and send me an email. And if you really want to build a personal relationship, guys, I finally, after 18 years, have opened up to having a mastermind. I'm going to be doing a private gathering with a lot of the leaders that I work with, here in my home in Sedona. So if you're interested in learning about no longer doing this whole building your business, building your brand alone, and I feel like business is a spiritual game, and it takes a lot of understanding your own mindset, your own mastery, understanding your own identity, and then understanding how to create the systems to help you to run your business. And then creating a movement. How do you use your voice to create a movement? So if you're interested in learning more about that, you can let me know. Just shoot me a DM called Leader, or apply. Just go to leaderscreateleaders.com. And I do private events throughout the year, and I do coaching every week to a private group of individuals who want my coaching. So let's see. I see people. How do you feel? Hopeful. Great. Heartbroken, but hopeful. I love that, Mega. Thank you. Chef says blessed and a little scared. I feel that. I was feeling that way too. It's almost like scary. But at the same time, I was able to switch that to again, surrendering and letting go. That allowing that this is exactly what's supposed to happen. All right. There's no reason to be scared. Ignored. And by the way, and if you feel scared, that's okay too. I don't want to say, just know that it's okay to feel that way. Ignored. What's your name? Who said ignored? Let's talk about that a little bit, because I've been hearing that. Heartbroken. Jamel said heartbroken. If you want to talk about that, I can pull you on here on the live, because I know a lot of my black friends, are feeling like, everyone's focusing on the looting, everyone's focusing on what's going on in the streets, and they're forgetting about the core issue of why this is happening, right? I saw a video with Trevor Noah from the Daily Show, and he said, he's like, as a society, what's a society? A society has a contract. Us as citizens, we have a contract, right? And that contract is that we operate in a system with order, and in turn, the city, right, the people that we rely on that are up in the government or the police, the people in our city that are supposed to protect and serve us, have a duty. That's part of the agreement. But just like any contract, when an agreement is circumvented, and all of a sudden the people that are supposed to protect and serve you start murdering your people in the streets, on a sidewalk, in front of the world, not once, multiple times. Do you think that we have to withhold our contract? Now, there's going to be repercussions. And I'm not saying that it's right. I'm not saying that it's right or wrong. But at the end of the day, it's what's the reality. And it's what needs to happen. And we will rebuild, and there will be change. But there needs to be a reckoning. As L.B. Marcus has said, there needs to be a reckoning. So I see heartbroken, devastated, blessed, passionate. Okay, blessed, passionate. I like some of you are, channeling the positivity. I think that's really powerful. What do you think? What do you think about black racism? Is it justified? Absolutely not. Whoever said that, it's the fact that you even have that question just shows me the amount of work that you need to do. I think that's why it's so important that if you have to even ask that question, that you start reflecting on what your beliefs are and what your core values are and what you stand for in the world. So I recommend that you really sit down, and I would tell you, get a coach, get a mentor, someone that you look up to that has the success and that you admire, and start to work with someone that can guide you, to help you, so that you can slowly understand your own patterns. Because what happens is you're unconscious. You don't even realize. You're not even aware. And that's dangerous. That's dangerous that you're unconscious to the fact that, we have still black, racism actually happening that's killing people. And how it's injustice. It's completely evil. So create leaders, change your life. Honestly, I feel like those who certainly want things to change just need to focus on that one change. Yeah, one thing at a time. Yeah, exactly. I believe that everyone has to do their part. Never judge someone by their looks, but by their character. I agree on that. Eric Visionary. Hate is a choice made, but it takes by making the choice to love. Agreed. And I believe there is no light without dark. So that's what I believe. I believe that darkness is happening, has been happening, and sometimes healing is painful, and we're going to see love birth from this, a new expansion of light and love in the world. But the way that, we were going about things with these murders of our black community in the past wasn't working. People weren't listening. Let's be honest. There wasn't change. There hasn't been reform. Again, we're watching it on camera, on social media. I think someone said it's unbelievable. Almost as if we're watching an animal get killed and slaughtered. It's just there needs to be a different way. And I'm not saying that the revolt and all this is the way, but I think that it is part of it, and we will. I don't think it's going to continue, but I think it's a reckoning that needed to happen. And if it didn't, it wouldn't have happened. It needs to happen. There needs to be a purge, the pain. And we as leaders, we need to step up and be there with our black community. We need to be there. We need to hold space. We need to listen. Because they do feel ignored. And a lot of people are missing the actual issue at hand because of the looting. And that's not the issue here. It's black racism. That's the issue. Jean Michael sent me a request. I'm going to It is unfortunate, Carrie. It is.
Hey
What's
man,
good, Jean?
what's up?
What's good, boy? How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Hey man, I just like wanted to like jump in and then say, man, I just like really appreciate, just like appreciate you stepping in and like and then just like really not being someone who is in the middle of stuff because like, like cuz like for like a lot of times it's kind of like if we have, people sitting on the sidelines and then like not really in it, like like that's part of the problem as well, and so by just stepping in and then like speaking, you are making a difference, like and so like I feel like like I do feel like what you said as well, like how kind of like this this was a good thing that happened because it brought like awareness to people who like who probably just just disregarded it as something that kind of just doesn't happen anymore, or something that just isn't like relevant to like today. And so by this happening, it just brings like a whole new light and like shedding racism as a actual and like current and like relevant issue for like today, you know? And so, yeah. So,
John, man, thank you for your courage, bro, to jump on
yeah,
here
yeah,
and share,
definitely.
man. I really appreciate it. You know, I'm not gonna lie, man. Like, I think that's what I feel is really powerful about what's happening. Because like when Black Lives Matter first started, there were people that were Switzerland. There were people in the middle, and
Yeah,
people that were like skipping over the
yeah,
what's actually happening to our Black community,
exactly.
and just going to like, yo, it's all lives and it's all things. And it's like, it's kind of like this quote that I heard. It's like, if your house is burning down and your house is burning down and you're asking for help, but then someone says, well, all houses matter, but
Hmm.
your house isn't burning down.
Exactly, man, exactly. And so just like having having like that mindset of like of switching to the problem at hand, because like all life is precious, all lives do matter, but like but the actual like threat is on like Black lives, and like and switching to that mindset and becoming conscious of that actual fact happening is just like a amazing thing that can happen, so
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, bro. And just know, man, that you're not alone, that it's happening.
yeah,
Like, let me be a reflection for you to know that
yeah,
it's happening. But I will say to you that it starts with you, man. It starts
yeah,
with you too. Like you having the courage to come on this live with me and participate in this conversation, it just made a huge difference. Because it's one thing to come from me from being a Hispanic.
yeah.
It's another from then, okay, boom, now we can hear from you. How old are you?
I'm 18 years old.
You're 18 years old, growing up Black. So can you talk to me, keeping it real? Like, how has this, before this even happened, like, how did it feel for you seeing these videos, or even just growing up, if you've had your own personal experiences? Like, I think now is an opportunity for you to kind of just share so people understand how real this is.
Yeah. So for me, I was like adopted at like the like age of like 2. And so like I grew up with like white parents. And so like just like growing up with like white parents, it's just always I was like always put into this kind of box of like he's obviously put in this way because he is like like you know privileged or something else or stuff like that. But then like for me growing up, it was like the like expectation for me for like so much of it was kind of like was kind of like I had to be a certain way. I kind of had to be put into a kind of light that just like wasn't really reflective of my whole entire character. And so like and so and so just like that kind of just that stuff kind of just builds up. And so for me to like go back to like your like question, so like for me that stuff, like that stuff kind of builds up in like little things, and it's just like these like little things that just like people do that are kind of like unconsciously
Right.
doing, that are just that are just major, and they have like effects, like I mean, like judging you for some way, treating you some way different, like I mean, like I've had people who just like who just like wouldn't like serve me, and then my white parents came in, and then they served me,
Wow.
because it was kind of like you were just some kid who was just just some black kid, but then when my like white parents came in, it was you're something else. But like I mean, like it's it's just it's just that like way of like thinking as well, which is also a big problem,
Yeah.
so
I actually think that is the biggest issue.
yeah.
It's the fact that, unconscious people are unconscious to what is happening to the
Yeah.
black community. And, again, like I saw comments in here like all lives matter and this happens to
Yeah.
all races. And nobody's saying that's not the case here.
Exactly.
Like, listen, I just had a call yesterday with all my clients, like, and someone who was Chinese was like, yo, I've faced this in my life. I'm Hispanic. I faced this. I opened up my live like that. But the truth is that we're not dying because of it. And we're not a target because of it. And the black community has been going through this for centuries, since the slavery. And it's still going on today. And John, thank you so much for having the courage to share. Because like you having being adopted and having a white parents, like you like really experienced your whole life the white privilege. And it was powerful for me yesterday starting to host these conversations privately with my community, where a lot of my clients that are white and beautiful, just like black people, beautiful human beings. They're spiritual coaches, but they're now waking up to that privilege, and they're saying, okay, how can I start, now that I'm becoming aware, like it's finally like awareness is coming up and acknowledging what is the truth.
Exactly.
Again, no right or wrong, just this is the reality. Now, how do we all come together as one race, right? But you have to acknowledge, it's like any spiritual healing. In order for you to truly heal and change, you have to first acknowledge the reality. It's like picture an addict. In order for the addict to actually get off heroin, he has to acknowledge he's a heroin addict and that he's going through that pain, and therefore want to change and acknowledge it. So it's just, I think more than ever right now, it's a slow pace. There's a lot of anger that's coming up, but the biggest thing that needs to happen is we all need to do our part to acknowledge the reality. Therefore, by acknowledging the truth, then we can slowly start to heal and change. And I'm going to do my part. Jean, just know that, bro. And you got to do your part, man. You're a young leader. You're a young leader, all right? So you got to keep sharing that story.
Definitely.
And listen, I would love to meet you. I'd love to support you. So do me a favor, shoot me a DM after this, and we'll connect. Where are you from?
I'm from Seattle, Washington.
Okay, cool. That's what's up.
All right.
My girlfriend's from Seattle. So we'll connect, all right? I'm with you, bro. All right, peace. Woo! That was amazing. That just made my day, guys. That made my day. If you guys caught his username, do me a favor. Go give that young man some love. Go give that young man some love. Go like his stuff. Go set him in DM. And I appreciate you guys. Hopefully this is helping to just spark some curiosity within yourself. Spark what's coming up for you. Again, like acknowledging what's coming up for you. Sitting, listening, super, super important right now. Listen to these conversations. Who else? I'm going to bring my boy Houdini. Bring my boy Houdini up in here. See how he's feeling right now.
Hey, what's going
Yo,
on, brother?
what's going on, Houdini? How are you, bro?
Hey, everything is great, man.
Thanks
Real
for coming
quick,
on
because
here.
I'm not staying long, but
Sure.
you said you said how do people feel? And with the whole COVID situation, I would never imagine that I would have to wear a mask to go in a store and just everything that transpired with that.
Right.
So now I have to think to myself, how far will these with the protesting and if there's a possibility that this could get real violent and you never would think that something would go that far, but after I seen how this COVID and these masks and everything like that, I have to put that in my mind as well.
Right.
So then you have to start thinking about family and how you're going to take care of them, like I'm separated with my daughter's
Yeah.
with my with her mom, but we're separated. But what if this shit gets to that point,
Yeah.
what do you do? So it leaves you in a state of, I don't know if it's nervousness or worried or, you know, but definitely the move is needed
Yeah.
because if it doesn't, if something doesn't affect you, you
Right.
don't really care about it.
Right.
You
Right.
understand that? So, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. I showed my buddy a video. I showed my buddy a video of when it was like showing the cops and they let the dogs on the guy. And while I'm showing my buddy starts telling me his story that he was on his knees and they let the dog on him and bit him up and
Oh,
it's funny because I know this guy all my life. I know this guy since we were in high school. He never told me this shit. But
right.
me showing him a video starts to spark stories.
Right.
And it's a lot of people who have these occurrences. And
Yes.
sometimes people get mixed up thinking like it's a black versus white thing, and it's really not.
Nah, it's not.
It's not at all.
Or it's a
So,
black versus all races. Again, it's
yeah,
not. It's really not. And I think that was a big awakening even I had.
yeah. So people get confused with it. A lot of people are confused, so they don't even know how to deal with each other and everything like that. But in the end, you're hoping that everything will be good. So
Yeah, and it will. I believe this is, you got to have faith in God. That's why I started with a prayer. But I do believe that, like,
yeah,
in my
good versus
opinion,
evil.
would you say?
No, somebody commented good versus evil.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And there is a war right now. And I think you said something that I do believe as well. I saw my boy, I don't know if you follow John Henry. I did a live stream with him about a week ago. He
Nah,
made
check them out.
He's really dope. He mentioned also, like, until it hurts their pockets, right? You think about the government who has these policies that are allowing, how does a police officer, murder someone on the streets who's saying I can't breathe, like a zebra or like an animal, and then all of a sudden that cop doesn't get arrested until days later after, people are speaking up, and then he's not even locked up. He just gets fired. Anyone else would be in jail right now. He just gets fired. So it's like there needs to be real change and justice. And until I feel this needed to happen for, again, God, nobody wants this to happen. Nobody wants this to happen. But I think what you're saying is like, it's unfortunate. It's hard to see. It's scary for you. It's scary, I'm sure, for everyone. It's
It's
scary.
scary for it's scary for everybody.
Everybody. Yeah, exactly. Everybody, right?
Everybody.
Yeah, everybody. But
I
we can only have faith and pray that, like, through this reckoning, they're just like, yo, we don't want that again. Do you want that again? No, I don't want that again. What needs to happen? And then boom, our voices are heard, policies are changed, reform starts to happen. And guess what? We're all getting ready to vote soon. So, I think this is really waking things up. I think also particularly for the younger generation, which is really important because, bro, think about it, man. Like, for how many presidents we weren't voting, we weren't paying attention. Like, and then all of a sudden Trump gets, elected, and now, everyone is, starting to come out and talk about that. And I'm not trying to get into politics, but like the millennial, like our next generation needs to care more and know that they have the ability to create reform and change in these policies. So I can only hope that through all of this, we'll see massive, massive change, both mentally with people, with the awareness that's now that's happening, as well as true, change within the system.
Yeah. Yeah, hopefully everything works out. I'm a person, I don't like to keep track on too many things, but this is at a point where it's going to draw you out. Even if you don't care or you try to ignore it, it's getting to a point where it's going to draw you out.
Right.
And you have to pay attention and decide, what's
Yeah.
going on, what's right, what's wrong,
Yeah.
and what adjustments you're going to make,
Yeah, for sure.
So
For sure.
it was good talking to you, my man.
It's a pleasure. Thank you for jumping on. I appreciate you, man. I stand with you. Be safe, bro. Be safe.
All right, you take care of yourself.
All right. You too. That was another powerful, powerful talk, guys. I appreciate it. Motivated by Brett. Good to see you in here. Keep speaking up. Thank you, Anna. I appreciate you. I got chills right now. Like, palms are sweaty. But I feel like this is when leaders really stand up. For me, I think who I be, it's like a lot of people see me for the accolades, building multiple 7-8-figure companies and, the branding and all the accolades, all stuff but like all that stuff doesn't matter to me if I don't have the character to stand up when shit is really going down in the world for humanity and for the culture, and for my people. It's beyond, you take all the materialistic shit away from me. I'd rather go down and die for something I believe in than be quiet, but then be some dude who out here flexing, with materialism. That's not who I am. It's important for me to make a stand right now. So thank you. So guys, let me see if I can get one more person on here. Let's see if Jamel or Jared. You guys wanna Jamel or Jared? I'm gonna have one more person on here. Joey Fitness, what's good, fam? So good to see you on here, bro. And guys, if you're just joining, watch the replay. We did a really powerful prayer. I really recommend that you rewatch some of the conversation. We had an 18-year-old named Jean who was adopted, had 2 white parents, shared his story of white privilege, being a young black man growing up in Seattle. We had my friend Houdini, who just joined, shared his experience. And it's just real conversations, real feelings. So I want to know how you guys are feeling. I want you to know I'm with you. We're in this together. So I think, people keep asking this question, what do you think about the looting going on? I'm like, for me, it's tough. I don't want to focus on that. Look, that's whatever's happening, that's happening. It needs to happen. I wrote an article, click my link in bio. It needs to happen. Allow it to happen. I don't think it's right, but it's whatever's happening is happening. The pain's happening. That's not gonna last. That's gonna change. This has happened in the past. What needs to happen is people need to wake up. We need to focus on the problem, the root of the problem, which is racism to our black and brown community. That's what we need to focus on. We need to use our voice. We need to listen. We need to not focus on what the media wants to portray, which is going to focus on the looting and focus on a lot of these other things. We need to focus on the fact that we have a racism problem that's gone on for too long in America. And in order for America to get, to really prosper and be great again, we all need to create unity and love and peace and harmony. And we need to end racism. And through that, America can be this amazing catalyst for humanity. But we got to start with acknowledging the facts about black racism in this country. All right, so let me see. Anybody else want to join in? Let's see, Eric wants to join. I'll do one more. I would love to get a hi, Gerard. Yo, what's up, Chin? I would love to do a live with you. Cool. What's going on, bro? How are you?
Hey, what's up, man? How are you?
I'm good. I felt called to do this. So thanks for jumping on, man. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. I was just considering everything that's been spoken about and what we've been talking just throughout the country and just how things are being awakened of racism. But I can't help to just realize, it's a hard issue. It just kind of, it's really like what people like have grown up through or kind of developed an understanding of like what they believe is like really something from the heart. If somebody's, displaying hatred, it's just like this real hard issue that like they haven't dealt within themselves, that they're not valuing the value of a person.
Yeah.
But if somebody is like really like it really takes a denial of self, like a renewal of mind, to really understand that like you have to deny the hate in order to like really supply the love that's gonna like really like bring unity with everybody. And so I just been thinking, like what's gonna give me a peace of mind in all this. And I can't stop to think about like, what's the purpose of life. There's so many questions out there, there's so many unanswered questions, and I can only imagine that, like obviously there's a creator, and for someone to like believe this is to someone acknowledge that, life is created and there's a creator that created life, and being that there is a governing of this creator over all these things. And so out of it is going to become good, because, there is goodness in all these matters, though, just like you said earlier, though it's hard, it's difficult, to have to see what's happening. But
Well, thank you so much for sharing, coming on here and sharing. I think what you said, two things that I just want to acknowledge is, first and foremost, you said it's a heart problem. And I think that was really, really powerful, because I do believe that people need to tap into their heart right now more than ever before. Like a lot of them are in their heads, they have opinions and are looking at everything and they're letting them, looking at the looting and all this stuff, instead of tapping into the compassion and the love and the empathy and the, and what's happening to our Black community and racism in America, and really having compassion. And also you talked about how it's like a lot of times it's the saying, right? Broke people hurt people, hurt people hurt people. So if you're not feeling that compassion right now, you're not understanding how, and you're thinking beyond the core issue at hand right now with our Black community, then it's like you need to reflect and think about where do you need some healing right now. And I think if we all do that healing with ourselves and with our own hearts, like then that's how we will start to show up now, always with like a new perspective, a new view, a new reality of equality and unity and love. And that is what God is doing. God is working. And that's the next point, is that there is a creator and God is working, and God is, dropping down another lesson of that we need to do that healing internally so that we can activate the abundance that he has for us. That is equality and unity and love and peace, but it starts with us. So thank you for jumping on, man. I really appreciate it. Enjoy your day. Be safe.
yeah, thanks, man.
All right.
Really good to talk to you.
Thank you. All right. So I have a conference call here in 10 minutes. I would love to bring on a female. And let me see if I can get cash. Let me see if I can get cash on. Oh, she declined. All right. All right, guys. So let me see if there's anyone left. And I'm going to probably hop off, guys. I have a conference call right now. So I appreciate you guys. I'm going to hop off. Oh, wait, there you are. Chin, I have to hop off for a meeting. I would have loved. We'll do that, Chin. So tomorrow I'll be on with, guys, I'll be on with Trent Shelton tomorrow. And then my man Preston Smiles as well. So pay attention to my Insta story. And I ask you all to truly be a leader right now for yourself. Acknowledge what's happening to our Black community. Acknowledge what's happening, that there is racism and that is our reality, and that there is a reckoning right now that needs to happen, and allowing that to happen, but also playing your role in healing yourself and acknowledging and listening and studying and doing your research and reaching out with compassion to your friends that have had racism in their life, and looking at how can you grow from this? How can we all grow from this, right? And how can we all show up better every single day moving forward and be the change that we want to see in the world? So guys, thanks so much for taking time. I really appreciate it. And if you joined late, I recommend when this replays, watch. I did a really powerful prayer. And regardless if you watch it or not, pray. There's one thing you can take away from this, guys, is pray. Your prayers will be heard. They're important. Reach out to your Black friends and community, peers, and be the change, be the leader. I love you guys. I'll see you tomorrow with Trent Shelton. All right, so I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.